So a $1 billion school fund created when Minnesota became a state could soon send millions more to classrooms across the state.
Thing is, before that can happen, you, the voters, will have the final say, and that's coming up this November. Barrett Leone joins us to explain. Barrett, what exactly is on the ballot here?
Well, this all centers around Minnesota's permanent school fund, and this is a trust that was set up to support public education since the state's statehood. And last session, lawmakers approved putting a constitutional amendment of that fund on the ballot this November, and now voters are deciding whether or not Minnesota students will have access to more of that funding. Now, the fund itself is worth $2.3 billion in financial assets. Even more than that, more than $12 billion when school trust lands and natural resources are included there. And right now, the Minnesota Constitution only allows schools to receive the fund's interest and dividend earnings. Supporters say that's kept distributions mostly flat, even as the fund has nearly quadrupled in value over the last 15 years. If voters approve the amendment in November, annual distributions would increase from roughly 2.5% to about 4.5% of the fund's value, and that would increase funding to school districts by about 40%, with districts free to spend the money however they choose.
The great thing about this fund is the school districts do not have any requirements to spend that money in any particular way. They can, it has no strings attached to it.
Now, supporters say this is a proposal that would provide more money to schools without impacting or raising taxes, and opponents worry that this could dip into the fund for future generations. Now, if voters approve this amendment come November, the funds would increase the next school year, so the 2027-2028 school year.
Yeah, and I'm glad we're talking about this now, Barrett. It still is a long way off, but you don't want to get into the ballot box and not know what you're voting on there.
Good point.
All right, thank you.
Budget-strapped Minnesota schools could soon get more financial help.
So this fall, the voters will be able to decide whether to unlock more money from a state education fund. Our Barrett Leone explaining how this proposal could potentially help districts that are grappling with budget shortfalls. Barrett?
Hey, good morning, Heather, AJ. We know that school districts are looking for ways to cut budget gaps. And this fall, voters will decide whether or not Minnesota students will have access to a larger share of a fund that's been supporting public education since Minnesota became a state. We've reported on some of these issues and some of the tough decisions that school districts have had to make, like Minneapolis, St. Paul, Anoka Hennepin, Columbia Heights, and Rosemont. Staffing cuts, school closures. In some cases, parents are even rallying to hike property taxes to supplement funding losses. A potential aid during these struggles is an amendment to the Permanent School Fund. It was created in 1858 using land granted to Minnesota at statehood. Today, its financial assets have grown to $2.3 billion. Come November, Minnesotans will vote whether or not the Constitution can be amended to distribute more of those funds each year. If passed, the fund will still be managed the same, and funds will continue to grow, but the distribution to schools would increase by about 40%.
It's a ballot initiative. We're amending the Constitution, so that has to go to the voters, and it will be a ballot initiative this fall. This is a gift that was set up in 1785, and it is still operating and functioning as a part of our government to support education. It's a perpetual trust. It's an intergenerational trust. So we work for not only this kids in school today, but the kids that will be in public school in 150 years.
So the money would be distributed on a per student basis. So the larger the school district, the more money that school district would get. And if this is approved come November, funds would be distributed, those additional funds rather, would be distributed for the 2027-2028 school year. And also this wouldn't impact taxes in any way either.
Right, and it's important to start talking about it now here, because you get to July, you know, you want people, you get to November, you want people to
know about it,
know exactly what they're voting on. Right?
Right.
Barrett, thank you.